Welcome to Wines du Jour. We're here in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we broadcast almost every week. We're on the West Charleston area at a new pizza parlor, if you want to call it that, from New York City. It's a new chain that's moved into Las Vegas, and I have to tell you, the food is outstanding. They not only feature pizza, but they also have a complete menu and a wonderful, wonderful wine list. Tonight on Wines du Jour, the chef is going to put together some really nice food to go with 3 wines that we're featuring from their wine list. First of all, remember back in the 70s, some of you can, some of you might not, but back in the 70s there was a wine that was very popular all across America called Lambrusco. Lambrusco is an Italian wine, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show, but it has a little bit of a spritzer to it, or not bubbles, but close to it. And it's very tasty, and it happens to go really, really well with pizza. So we're going to feature that as our first wine tonight. And Chef Sean has put together some Caesar salad to go with it, which we'll talk about that as well. Caesar salad, you know, is really not from Italy, even though Lambrusco is. Caesar salad originated in Tijuana, Mexico. I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later as well. The second wine is going to be Santa Cantina. That is a Pinot Grigio, another Italian wine. Beautiful white wine, going to go very well with the food that Chef Sean's putting together, which is a calamari with a nice little sauce to go along with that. And then our third wine that we feature is going to be from California. One of my favorite red wines. It's actually a Bordeaux blend. It comes to us from a very well-known Ferrari. Corano is the name of the winery, and Tresor is the name of the wine. So we've got a lot of things that we're going to feature this evening, and I'm glad you're with us. We have also some information about what we do in other times as far as Wines du Jour is concerned. We take it on the road once in a while, even though almost every show comes from an upscale restaurant in Las Vegas. Now, all I can tell you is the show's a lot of fun. If you're interested in wine, pay attention. If you're interested in food, pay attention. And more importantly, if you're interested in food and wine, you're going to love the show. So I'm going to go inside, we'll have a good time, and we'll see you a little later here on Wines du Jour. Thanks for watching.
Hello, let's welcome to Dom Demarcos.
Thank you very much.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Welcome back to Wines du Jour. We're here at this beautiful pizza parlor, if you want to call it that. But we're going to feature 3 wines, as I said a little earlier. The first wine is Lambrusco. Now, if you were of age in the 70s, you might remember the name Lambrusco. Lambrusco was very popular in the United States, as I mentioned earlier, but also it has a little bit of a spritzer to it. It's a red wine. It comes to us from the northern part of Italy, from the Parma-Modena area, if you know where that's located, and it's very good. Now, this happens to go really well with a lot of different foods, including pizza, and that's one of the reasons it's on the wine list here at the restaurant. But if the food has been fried, if it's a little, I'm going to use the word greasy, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but if it's a little bit on that side, Lambrusco just cuts through that and makes it really work well. It has a nice light taste. It goes really well with a lot of different foods. And tonight, Chef Sean has put together something that might be a little unique. That is called a Caesar salad. Now you think the wine is from Italy, so here we have a Caesar salad from Italy. But as I mentioned earlier also, Caesar salad came from Tijuana, Mexico. Caesar Cardero was the gentleman's name that actually invented the Caesar salad. And he did that during the Second World War, when a lot of the we had an Air Corps in those days, and the Air Corps people used to, on their days off, would come down from San Diego, where they were stationed, into Tijuana, and go to Cardero's restaurant, and he came up with what he originally called a pilot salad. Well, and pilot salad turned out to be, because his name was Caesar, a Caesar salad. And of course, over the years, it seems like the Italians have picked up on it, and almost every Italian restaurant, at least in America, has a Caesar salad on the menu. One of the unique things about Caesar salad is it has anchovy with it. Now, some people turn their lip up at anchovies. On the other hand, we're here at a pizza parlor, and of course, anchovies are part of a lot of pizzas that you would order at a pizzeria. So anchovies kind of fits in with it. So here we have Lambrusco, and here we have a beautiful Caesar salad. Now, this Lambrusco has a little bit of spritzer, as I said earlier. I'm going to kind of show it to you. You'll see these bubbles in the wine. Even though it's red, you kind of see the bubbles. And I want to taste it and show you how to do. Now, on Wines du Jour, we talk about how to take your wine and how to taste it best. We say, or I say, that you should swirl your wine for about 10 seconds before you actually smell it. Then stick your nose right down in the glass, and you'll be amazed at some of the things that you can recognize. Now, when you've done that, then you can taste it. And the first tasting anytime, the first tasting of the day, if you will, is you're going to take about a half an ounce or so, put it in your mouth, kind of wallow it around like mouthwash, swallow it, and don't worry about it. Then go back and actually taste it for taste's sake. So watch this. What that does, incidentally, is kind of cleanse your palate. We don't want to talk about what might be in your mouth, but you just got rid of it with a little taste of wine. Now we're going to taste it for wine's sake. This is very clean. It's very clear tasting. It has a very nice, smooth red wine taste, but not on the heavy side, really on the light, fruity side. It's very clean. When you swallow it, it's gone. I mean, that's the way it is. It doesn't have a long, lingering finish like the third wine that we're going to have this evening does, but it's very, very tasty. And one of the things that we like, let me tell you what about this wine, Lambrusco. That is, it comes from the Emilia-Romagna area. And if you know where that is, as I said earlier, it comes from Parma-Modena area. Modena is known for some vinegar. We know where that is. Anyway, this wine is good. Check it out at your local retail store. And we'll be back here on Wines du Jour right after these messages. So please, don't go anywhere.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Welcome back to Wines du Jour. We're at a beautiful pizza parlor, if you will, on West Charleston here in Las Vegas. And we have wine number 2 we're going to talk to you about, which is actually a Pinot Grigio. Or in other parts of the world other than Italy, it's sometimes called Pinot Gris. Pinot Gris and Pinot Grigio are the very same varietals, the same grape, just different pronunciation. In Italy, Pinot Grigio is a very popular white wine. And let me tell you, this is really tasty. And Chef Sean has gone ahead and done something pretty nice to go very uniquely with the wine, and that is calamari. You know, Italians love calamari, and most people do too. And he made a nice little red sauce to go along with it. So you get a little bit of that tomato taste with it, and with this Pinot Grigio, it's really very, very nice. Now, this has a very pale straw color. It's very light. We're going to swirl it for about 10 seconds, as I mentioned a little bit earlier with the other one. It has a nice nose to it, let me tell you. It has a very melon or pear-like nose to it. The acidity is very light, and I think that's one of the reasons that it's very popular. Now, a lot of people go to an Italian restaurant and they want Chianti. Okay, and some people say, I don't like red wine, I want to taste white wine. Well, their alternate choice in most cases is Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio. And this Pinot Grigio is really very, very good. It actually, when you swallow this wine, let me show you what I mean. When you swallow this wine, it kind of lingers. You can taste it after you swallow it for a little while. So the overtones are very nice. The melon and the pear is very interesting. The acidity is very light, and it's going to go, I think, extremely well with the food. Now, I didn't get a chance to taste the Caesar salad, but I'm not going to miss the opportunity to taste a little calamari. So let's take this with a little bit of the sauce. Very nice. And the way to pair it up is with a little bit of white wine. Very nice. Now in this, even though the red sauce with the calamari, you'd think it has a lot of acidity because it's tomato based, but you'll find here that there's a little bit of honey in the background on the taste of this. So the sweetness versus the acidity, and they both come together and taste really, really well. This wine is also, in fact, all 3 wines are on the wine list here at this restaurant, and I can tell you, you're going to like it. Very tasty, very well priced. It's not expensive, and it'll go good with a lot of food, including pizza. Now, you know, we don't think about pairing pizza with food too much. We think of beer most times. But I have to tell you, once you discover there are a few beers that are tasting good with pizza, but also there's a lot of wines that taste really good with pizza, I think you're going to be persuaded to maybe have a little wine. It's a little nicer, if you know what I mean. In fact, let me just mention something to you. When you go into a good pizzeria, when you give them their order for pizza, most of the time they're going to say, would you like that cut, or would you like a knife and a fork? That's going to shock a lot of you and say, what are you talking about? I've never had that before. But the truly good way and the Italian way to eat pizza is with a knife and a fork, not picking it up and eating it when it's cut. And certainly not, and I know I'm going to offend people in New York, and I don't mean to do that, is to fold the pizza in half and shove it down your throat. That's not really great pizza eating. So if you want a nice pizza and you want it to taste good at its best, if you will, is pick a nice wine that'll go with whatever type of pizza you want. If it has meat, you want a certain kind of wine. If it doesn't have meat, another kind of wine, and so on. And when you get that pairing down to where it tastes pretty good, you're going to find, wow, this is a really nice way. Knife and fork with your pizza, And I know that's going to surprise a lot of people. I'm telling you, if you try it, you'll see that it works out really, really well. Demarcos Pizzeria here from New York City in Las Vegas, and we're having three really nice wines to go with some food that Chef Sean has put out. The calamari is the second. The first one was the Caesar salad. And now with the third wine, we're going to have one of my favorite red wines when we come back from break, and that is from Ferrari Carano, and it's called Trésor. Ooh, wait till you find out what Bordeaux-style wine is. You ever heard of Bordeaux? Yeah. You know what French wine is? Maybe not. You'll find out how that's done when we come back. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after these messages.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Welcome back to Wines du Jour. We're having a great time here at a pizzeria. This is a beautiful place called Dom Demarcos Pizzeria. It's on West Charleston in Las Vegas. You need to come here and check it out. Now, it is called a pizzeria and bar, but I have to tell you, it's much more than that. This has a complete menu. You can get a steak, you can get fish, you can get anything you want here, in addition to the best pizza in Las Vegas. And the reason is Dom Demarco is a very particular guy. He lives in New York, and he decided several years ago that he wanted to take the pizza dough that he was able to create and put it on the market. So what did he do? He opened up a pizzeria, and guess what? It became one of the most famous and first-class pizzerias in New York. Well, he's since then taken it on the road, so to speak, and just recently they opened up Demarcos Pizzeria here in Las Vegas. So if you're in Las Vegas, West Charleston at Hualapai, you got no problem to find it, and the food is good. Most pizzerias have 4 or 5 beers on tap, and that's about it. Here, they have not only beers on tap, but they also have a very extensive wine list, and you can pair the wine that they have on their wine list with the food that's on the menu. That's kind of a unique thing. Sounds pretty simple, but I have to tell you, most restaurateurs don't have a clue. They put their favorite wine on their wine list, and then the chef puts the food together. It's a little different than that here. We're going to taste this Trésor. Trésor just means treasury in Italian. Hold on just a second. This is good. Now this is a Bordeaux-style red wine. What does that mean? Well, this has Cabernet Sauvignon, it has Malbec, it has a little bit of Cab Franc, all small quantities added to the Cabernet Sauvignon. And what that does is it rounds off the taste. This is what has been done for many, many years in France, and of course in America and other parts of the world where they grow Cabernet Sauvignon grapes and make Cabernet Sauvignon wine, they have started adding some of these other varietals to that and discovered that their Cab tastes pretty good by itself, but when they blend some of the Malbec and Cab Franc and so on with it, that it tastes even better. So I suggest, if nothing else, think about France, think about Bordeaux, and you'll find that the wine has those varietals added to it, and boy, does it go well with food. Well, you know, the wines are really an important thing to go with food. In fact, one of the things that we have here on Wines du Jour is wine is food. You know, a meal is a meal, but with a glass of wine, it's a celebration. From casual gatherings to formal affairs, wine celebrates any event. So I'm hoping that you're enjoying Wines du Jour here on your TV this evening, and I want you to know that we're going to be on that same channel that you're looking at us right now on the same time, usually on Sundays, every week. So don't miss it. Tell your friends, and join us. Each week we're at a different upscale restaurant, and we feature 3 wines, generally from the same winery. But tonight at DeMarco's, we ended up taking 3 wines from their wine list and pairing some of the food from the chef's kitchen to go along with that. So that's good. If you want to find out more about our subjects, about wines du jour and some of the things that I like, go to my website, leskincade.com. That's LESKINCAID.com. Or you can also go to VAsianTV.com. VAsian, ASIAN, TV, VAsianTV.com, and check out whatever you like to know about the TV and where it's playing and so on and so forth. VAsianTV is responsible for putting Wines du Jour on the air, and I thank them very much for that. Now, I want to mention a couple more things about this wine before we go, and that is Ferrari Carano, that's from California, and their Trésor, which means treasury, is the Bordeaux blend that we're tasting. And Chef Sean has put together a nice little slider to go along with it. So if you want to really find out what red meat and red wine, how they go together, is come to DeMarco's, check out a slider, and have a glass or buy a bottle, whatever is up to you, of the Trésor. Unbelievable taste, unbelievable match. And you'll find out why we brag and tell you how important it is to find out more about food and wine and how they pair together. That's what we do every week. Food, wine, and pairing is the most important thing that I can think of. Now, I want to mention something about the taste of this. This has, not only is it a blend that I told you about, but it has kind of a black tea taste to it. Black tea is kind of an interesting thing, and also has the typical red wine thing with berries. That would be dark berries, raspberries, any type of berries that you can think of are actually in the taste of this wine. Now that does not mean that they've added berries to the wine. They do not. It's just that the grape has that natural taste to it. When you actually ferment grape juice, if you will, and add yeast to it, it creates alcohol. And between those two and putting the wine in oak barrels, we end up with a very delicious wine. Now, sometimes you'll taste a little vanilla, if you will, in the taste of the wines. And anytime you get vanilla in the taste, it comes only from one thing, and that's the oak barrel that it was actually aged in. So grapes do not have vanilla, but wine does because of the oak. I want to thank you very much for watching Wines du Jour on your television set. That's a good thing, and hope you have some more interest in wine and in food. That's what it's all about. Wines du Jour. See you next time. Bye-bye.
VAsianTV, the community channel for Asian Americans in Las Vegas.